All right, let's take you to this now. Several presenters at the public hearings into the 2025 budget have called for the removal or halting of the 0.5 percentage point VAT rate increase. A joint meeting of the Standing Committee on Finance and the Select Committee on Finance is hosting public hearings on the 2025 budget proposal. Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana tabled the budget earlier this month. It's proposing two 0.5 percentage point VAT hikes over 2 years. Now, Cosatu has since made it clear that it's opposed to the VAT hike, saying it's hitting hard on workers. Let's now bring in SABC news reporter, a senior reporter that is Lulama Matya, who joins us now live from Parliament. Lulama, a very good afternoon to you. So, of course, this moment is very important, particularly to those presenters and those members of the public unions, etc., are calling for a re-look into this budget, particularly as it relates to the VAT increase.
Welcome to Parliament, Unat, and good afternoon as well as SABC viewers. Yes, this is the process that Parliament undertakes after Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana tabled the budget earlier this month. Remember, it's only a proposal until Parliament approves it and pass it. The process now, the Standing Committee on Finance as well as Select Committee on Finance, it's a joint meeting of the two houses of Parliament, that is the National Assembly as well as the NCOP, holding those public hearings, sourcing views from other stakeholders in the country on how the 2025 budget should go. Cosatu was first to present. Parliamentary Coordinator Matthew Parks rejecting the 0.5 percentage point VAT increase over 2 years. He's saying that this is going to hit hard on workers who are already overstretched, considering that they need to pay transport costs when they are going to work, when they are taking their children to school, and the fuel cost also are not, although it has come down, it has reduced the price, but it's still high. Workers cannot afford that. There was also a presentation by Amandla Dot Mobi. It's an organization, an activist organization. That organization, Onati, was saying there are other alternatives that Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana should have explored in trying to raise the much needed revenue that is needed instead of going for VAT. They are arguing that the minister, for instance, should have looked at taxing super rich instead of targeting poorest of the poor, because this VAT increase is going to affect more the poorest, and the rich are going to benefit. Also, the liquor industry was presenting. Remember that it's not only VAT increase that the minister is proposing in the 2025 budget. It's also about excise duties, which is about 6.75%. The industry is saying that that increase is also hitting hard on them. The South African breweries was here presenting along that excise duty increase that the minister is proposing. So in general, it's not only about the presenters being against VAT, it's also the excise duties, which is commonly known as sin taxes. That is always, we see there's always an increase on it during the budget. Well, the committee is still deliberating. When presenters are done presenting, members of the committee have an opportunity to ask questions, seeking clarity questions from them. So at the end of the day, Unati, the committee will sit and adopt its report. We will see then, when they are sitting and adopting that report, what it will say. If the VAT increase that they are against is going to be accommodated, we will see when that committee adopts its report. And that report is going to be taken to the National Assembly to be approved. Again, we will see then whether it will be approved or not. As I said, it's only a proposal now until Parliament adopts the budget, and Parliament now is conducting its processes before the final day of adopting or rejecting the budget. Onate.
And I mean, we've always known that, you know, Lulama, that this budget is going to have to go through those legislative processes. An interesting thing that you also mentioned, of course, that we know that several political parties that are represented in Parliament also objected to the VAT. We've seen now recently Action SA also writing to the ANC, essentially saying that it will be opposed to the VAT. But as you wrap up proceedings there, and of course we know that all roads lead to the National Assembly, when can we then expect that budget in its entirety to be debated and then ultimately approved in the National Assembly?
Under normal circumstances, Onati, if it was presented in February, that initial budget that was not presented due to disagreements in the cabinet about a 2 percentage point, a 2 percentage VAT increase at the time, the processes of Parliament goes until the 1st of April. But now it was presented in March, and public hearings are still going to be are still underway. What we know about the program of the committee, the Standing Committee of Finance, is that next week, Tuesday, it is expected to sit and adopt the report. What is that report that is going to be adopting? It's exactly this report of today's public hearings. Then after that, it will be taken to the House for adoption. But Unati, at the same time, I think we must let the viewers know that there are processes that can kick in if that budget is not approved in Parliament to accommodate, to close the gap or the loopholes that will be there when the budget is not approved. We know that it normally takes, the Parliament is allowed actually to go until July before this 2025 budget is approved. So it's still a long way that we will see going ahead step by step until it is ultimately approved. For now, we don't know when that process is. We will see once the steps that Parliament takes are being approved as to when will be the final day that it will be in the House for approval.